And welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy to have you. Today I'm gonna be doing this full makeup look. It's literally looking so good today. And I'm gonna do that while I answer a ton of questions that you guys asked. I did a poll or a questionnaire on my Instagram story and I got so many questions. So let's do a full makeup tutorial / Q&A. My makeup is all just stuffed in this bag. Like 90% of the time I'm just searching for the shit in the bag, so it takes me a while. I have so many questions to answer, so I'm gonna drink a little mini Alani so that I can get through all of these, okay? These make me yap my little butt off. Now let's do my skin prep and let's get started. First, I'm using these exfoliating wipes. This is the Of Me Glow Multi-Acid Exfoliating Wipe. And while I apply this, we're gonna start with some easy questions, okay? The first one being, what is your favorite thing about creating content? And honestly, it's just so fun because I feel like I have you guys to talk to. Like if I wanna go and do something by myself, like I can talk to you guys about it or tell you guys about it and just share all of my thoughts and feelings and people care to hear them. And I feel like obviously I can be creative, I can do what I love, I can post literally anything that I'm interested at the moment, and it's just so fun. So I feel like that's an easy question and one easy one to answer. The next one is, what is your favorite part about having sisters? And they said, I also have 3. Before I answer this one, I'm gonna go in with my Revision Skincare DEJ Daily Boosting Serum. My favorite thing about having sisters is I have built-in best friends. I feel like specifically, I have 3 older sisters, so I really got to learn everything that I know from them, and I always say that I am the best of them because I got to pretty much be raised by all of them and see all of their mistakes and learn from them before I even made them. Also, like, see them thrive and see what worked for them. So I don't know, I just feel like I learned so much having sisters, and that's exactly why I am how I am and why I love beauty so much and all of these things, because I had siblings and they're just my built-in best friends. Like I don't think, like life would be so lonely without them. If I have anything that I want to talk about, I can call one of my sisters and at least one of them is going to pick up at any given moment. Now going in with Revision Skincare C+ Correcting Complex 30%. I don't know. I think this is just vitamin C. I don't know what any of that means. And the next question is, did you enjoy doing hair when you worked in the salon? I feel like that's a good question because yes and no. I loved it, but at the same time, I loathed it. And I feel like if you're a hairstylist, like you understand. Because being in customer service is stressful already. Like, it's just hard having to please other people. That's like, and I am a chronic people pleaser. And when I have their hair literally at the palm of my hand, like I could ruin their hair. That to me is like it was way too stressful for me, and I didn't realize that that's something that would not work with my personality until later. But I also did love it. Like I miss it so much because I got to talk to so many people. I miss all of my clients. My clients were so sweet and they just like always knew what was going on in my life. I always knew what was going on in their life, and I just had the best conversations. So yes and no. Finally, for the skin prep, I have the Trio Rebalancing Moisture Treatment. This is from, what is it, Skin Better? I recently started using medical grade products and it's kind of changed the game for me. Like my skin really does look better, react better, and look better under makeup, which is huge. I also got a facial today and that's why I have like all these red dots, because she did some extractions, but I also got dermaplane, so my face is just gonna be so smooth when I put like my makeup on. I don't wanna hear about my before, okay? I don't wanna be like, oh my God, she's catfishing, look at her before makeup. First of all, I went to bed super late last night. My eyes are a little bit red, okay? Second of all, I got extractions from my facial, so my skin's looking a little bit So it's not my best day, okay? And I don't wanna hear about it. Now I'm gonna add my favorite eye patches, the Rhode ones. Really are the best eye patches, I'm not lying. Like they're aesthetically cute, but they're also good. God, I have so much skincare on my hands. Oy! But I highly recommend under eye patches, especially if you're gonna be doing like eyeshadow, because it catches all of the excess. And I do my eyeshadow before my skin, so. Voila. Moving on to my eyebrows, I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This is in the shade Taupe, and then I'm using NYX Crazy Glue, the brow glue, Crazy Glue, whatever. I get this from Amazon, Sephora. And the next question, how did you get into doing TikTok and becoming an influencer? So I was pregnant with Rome when I was working in the salon, and I knew I did not want to go back to the salon. Like, I knew it just wasn't for me anymore, and I wanted to do something else. I just didn't know what that was yet. But I also wanted to stay home with Rome. So when I was on maternity leave, I started looking for jobs and also just having fun with TikTok and like doing my blowout online or like doing my eyeliner or just like doing cutesy little videos. And then I remember one TikTok that I did, it was a hair transformation. I literally remember the sound. I was like, am I a Nikki fan? Pull up in the Sri Lanka, what? And that was like the transition. That was like my first million views. I was like, oh my God, this might actually work. I didn't realize how much money you can make from it or how you made money from it. Like, I was very naive to everything, but I figured it out along the way. I made my first $100, my first $300, my first $500. And then I worked with Dyson because I was doing my air wrap all the time, and that was a crazy moment for me. The next question is, at what point did you make content creation your full-time job? And my answer is that's difficult because I didn't really go back to work after I had Rome. Like, I had a few months of not working, and then I just started TikTok, and it kind of just worked out for me. And from then on, it was like my always part-time job. I was a mom and then I was a content creator. So yeah, so I guess now it's my full-time job for sure. Like, now Rome's going to school every day, so it's definitely my full-time job, but that only started recently. Like, I always am mom and then I am a content creator. So I do both, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. Next question is, what was your first I made it moment? And my first one was definitely, like I said, when I worked with Dyson. That was huge. But I have more and more I made it moments as I go on. Like, I just had, and I can't talk about it yet, but I just had the biggest shoot of my entire life. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Like, it's my dream, it's my dream. And then I keep getting emails and it's like another moment. Like, I'm genuinely so grateful, and I'm always just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life. So that Dyson was my first one, but I keep having these, oh my God, I've made it moments. Okay, I'm just filling in like a little bit of my eyebrows. I'm just doing like the bottom line and then brushing it in to blend it. And then filling in any gaps. Someone asked, what has been the most challenging part of having an online presence? And they also said, I love you. I love you too. I feel like that one's also pretty obvious. It's just like, posting yourself is pretty much just like opening up your life for everybody to have an opinion on. And when people have bad opinions about you or bad, things to say about you, that can obviously be very difficult. But I don't know, I feel like I've been in it for a minute now to where it doesn't bother me anymore. And now, what's scary, I guess, about the industry is you're pretty much getting paid to be relevant. And that's difficult. Like, it's difficult to be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have to, like, have I done enough, or am I relevant enough? Like, do people even watch my stuff anymore? It's really hard to continuously be thinking, oh my gosh, do people like me anymore? Do they want to watch my stuff? Like, this video didn't do really good. Like, what if they don't like me anymore? Like, it's a constant battle, I feel like, of being nervous that you're gonna pretty much lose your job because you lose relevance. Like, I don't know, at least that's my mentality sometimes on it when I get into like a negative space. But I would say that's definitely the most difficult thing. But other than that, I feel like it's the easiest job on earth. Work-wise, creativity-wise, it's so fun and it's so easy. Like, I could not be more grateful that this is my job. Is it easy being an influencer? I want to, but I'm scared. Like I just said again, like, the workload of it, easy. Like, yeah, you can work on your own time, on your own schedule. You can pretty much make whatever kind of videos you want to make, and that's your job. Like, stupid easy, right? But I will say you definitely have to be thick-skinned. Like, you have to have thick skin because people can definitely hurt you. People can point out your flaws, things that you've been insecure about your whole life. They're gonna tell you and they're gonna point it out. So you just have to be strong, and you just have to realize that, not everybody likes you, and that's okay. But I feel like I've grown this community of people who are empowering, not only to me, but to each other. Like in the comment section, everybody is hyping each other up, and like somebody's like, somebody might comment like, oh my gosh, I wish I looked like you. And somebody else will comment back like, girl, you're fucking beautiful. Like you are perfect the way you are. Like it is such a beautiful community that I feel like I've created, or that I have. And I cannot be more grateful for it every single day. And I keep saying that, but like, I just am, okay? Okay, back to my brows. I am like applying this product and like brushing them up, but then I like to take the back end of this and like swipe away the excess product because I don't want them to be clumpy and I don't want the glue to dry like in clumps. So I pretty much just like swipe some of it off. Then I just take my fingers and now let's work on my eyes. I'm gonna do some concealer as my base, and then I will put my eyeshadow on. So this concealer is the House Labs one in the shade 21. That was pretty millennial of me. And then I just blend it out, making sure to kind of underline my brow with it to make it look nice and clean and sharp. Next question is, what's the biggest thing you learned from 20 years old to now? Oh God, that's such a good question. My biggest advice would be don't lose yourself in another person. And that goes for friendships, that goes for relationships, that goes for family. Don't lose yourself for another person. Stay true to who you are, set your boundaries. Boundaries do not make people happy, but you need them to survive. So set your boundaries, stay true to yourself, and just if you're seeing yourself change when you're around another person and you don't like how you're changing, it's time to not be around that person anymore. So I feel like that's my biggest advice. I have so much, but that's just one good one, I feel like. Someone said, how did you find your style? Just turned 20 and I feel like a baby instead of a woman. That's a good question because that was really hard for me as well in that time, but I just tried everything. So I tried to wear heels a little bit more, and honestly, the more you do something, the more comfortable you are doing it. So like when I was your age, or when I was around 20 or 21 or 22, I would start wearing heels with jeans, and I would be like, okay, like this feels wrong, but I'm just gonna keep doing it. And now, like you can ask Casey, I don't go out without heels on. I am a heels every night kind of girl. If we're going to dinner, I put on heels. I don't wear sneakers ever, unless I'm going to the gym. So just try it, wear it, and just shake off the nerves, shake off the, oh, this doesn't feel right, I feel weird. Shake that off, turn that sound in your brain off, and just fucking rock it. And you're gonna get used to it eventually, and other people will think you look hot, so. Now I'm just powdering over the concealer. This is so hard. I'm trying to like answer questions and tell you how I'm doing my makeup at the same time, but I've got it, girl. You just gotta keep up with me, you know? I'm a little ADHD, little bit. But I am gonna go into a little bit detail of my eyes really quickly. So I just used this really light color. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Essential Palette in the shade Light. And I used this color to cover my concealer. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a darker color like this one. And I'm gonna put that, this is why I like the eye patches, because I get messy with my eyeshadow. So I'm literally just gonna, and go on the bottom and the top lash line and just like smudge that in and pretty much give myself a black eye, and then I'll fix it later. You guys are gonna be like, that looks like shit. But then at the end, you'll be like, okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of a fluffier brush and a little bit of a lighter shade and just blend that out. I'm gonna mix these two. And I can keep going with darker shades if I want to give it more of that smoky look, or I can just leave it at this to keep it light. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I usually decide like in the moment. I think I'm gonna do a little bit darker of eyeshadow, but not too much. So I'm just gonna take this little tiny fluff brush and I'm gonna take the darkest shade here and just stick to my really, really tight, like I'm just gonna go really, really tight on my waterline here. So if you can see this, I'm just gonna go meow, and then on the top, oh, there's a little bit of eye drops. So we're not dragging this out too much. I'm just keeping it right there. It's kind of going where my eyeliner is gonna go. I like the lighter shades in the inner corner, darker shades in the outer corner, because it kind of like gives me that foxy eye, you know? Boom, I think that looks really good. Maybe I'll just blend a little bit more just with a clean fluff brush. The next two questions that I got were, one, do you have any tips for being confident and loving yourself? And the other one was best self-confidence tips. So my biggest one and my favorite one, which is easy to say but hard to actually do, is don't give a f. Stop giving a f. Stop caring what other people think. Because number one, people, yeah, sure they judge, but they judge for about 2 seconds and then they're like squirrels. Their attention's on the next thing. They're not thinking about you for that long. So do what makes you happy no matter what. So for example, I like to do my makeup and I like to do a full beat everywhere that I go. I will do a full beat just to go to the gym, girl. I do not care. Like, that's what makes me feel good. And if that's gonna make me work out harder or feel better that day, I'm gonna do it and I'm not gonna care. So I would just say, like, to the girl who was saying like, I don't wanna, I wanna feel like a woman, wear heels. Wear heels wherever you wanna go. Do what you want and do it because it makes you happy. So I don't know. I feel like that's super cheesy, but like it really, really, really is true. Like, I love going to the gym and wearing extra ass outfits. I'll even have a pair of hoops then, honey, and a full beat. And it makes me work out harder and I don't really care what other people think. So anyway, I think that that's the biggest one. I'm gonna go in with this brown eyeliner from one side. Start at the outer corner of my eye and I bring a little bit line out and then I just connect it, making it a little bit thicker. And then I stop there, like I don't go any further. Okay, my camera stopped filming, so I'm not sure if you missed anything, but I'm just blending out my eyeliner with the darkest shade of this eyeshadow. Just a little bit again, like just staying super tight right here. And then one last thing for the eyeshadow, I'm just gonna go in with this lightest shade right here and go in my inner corner and just brighten that up a bit. I feel like this makes the world of difference in my eyeshadow. I just learned what tight lining is, which is pretty much putting this on your upper waterline so that it like makes your eyes look, I don't know what, but apparently all makeup artists do it. So I'm gonna put this brown Rare Beauty eyeliner on my top waterline. Before I do my eyelashes, I'm gonna go in with my Sachu lip stain. Everybody asks about my lip combo. This is the first step to my lip combo. This is what makes it last all night. So I'm gonna use the Sachu lip stain in the shade Mauve, and I put this on now so that it can have time to sit. Boom, now I'm taking my Ardell lashes in the shade 424 and I'm just gonna cut them in half and then apply. And I have to focus on this, so I'm not gonna answer any questions till I'm done. So I cut off the longest side of the lashes and I make it to where they're about this big, so I can just stick it right on the ends of my eyes. Adding my Duo glue. A little tip for these, I don't let the glue in the lash like touch my skin. It's just right on my lash. And it's not glued to my skin. I don't like my eyelid. I literally used to like glue it to my eyelid, thinking that worked. I don't know. And then I would fill the gap with eyeliner. God, that was so bad. These lashes are little, but they make a difference. Just enough of a difference to me. Okay, my eyes are done. Let's move on to my base and let's do some relationship questions because you guys had a lot of these. So first question, how did you and your fiance meet? That is a classic question. So Casey pretty much DM'd me on Instagram and he said something stupid like, I've got great news. And I was like, oh yeah, what's that? Like, what's the great news? That's weird. I at first wasn't gonna respond because I thought it was like some marketing thing. And I just essentially decided he was too cute for it to be something weird. And he was like, I've got great news. So I responded, I was like, yeah, what's that? And he was like, I've got a date planned for us. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, I think I can pencil you in. And let me take this off. So he planned a date and he picked me up, took me out. We went to this little like cutesy wine place and played pool and talked, and it was just perfect. And so that's kind of like our meeting story. Nothing crazy, he just DM'd me. How long have you and Casey been together? So we've been together for now over a year, and we're getting married in like 3 months. That's fucking crazy. And best decision I've literally ever made. How long was I with Casey before he proposed? We were together for about 3 months. It took him all of like a week and a half for him to ask me to be his girlfriend. So after that, we just started talking about it. And I don't know, a lot of people are like, that's crazy. Wow, I can't believe you would do that. What the fuck are you thinking? Totally understand. Like, I'm not saying that you should do that. But Casey and I, we're like both in our late 20s. Like, we both are ready for that next step in life. And it's just like, all about meeting the person, right? So obviously I do want to be married. I want to have a family. Like, that's my dream, that's my goal. And you know, Casey, like, he's just that person for me. And he's shown me that like time and time again. And he's like, my mom is so, like, my family will be like, are you nervous about the wedding? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, what cake am I gonna choose or whatever? And they're like, oh, we mean like the marriage part. And I'm like, oh no, like definitely confident as hell in that. I'm more thinking about wedding plans. So I don't know if that just describes how I feel about being married to Casey. It's just confident, it's secure, it's everything I've ever wanted. He's everything I've ever wanted. So yeah, it took us all about 3 months for us to figure that out, and then he proposed in Montauk. What's the one thing you love most about your fiance? I think the biggest thing that I love about Casey is definitely he is just calm. He's like the calm to my storm. And he is always just calm. And for me, I'm like sporadic. I'm a little bit crazy. I'm a little bit like spontaneous. And sometimes I'm a little bit scatterbrained. So like he just works with me in that way where like he's my solid. I'm the, you know, over here. So that's probably my favorite thing about him, but also just like kind. I feel like softness, like kindness. He's very gentle. He's very kind. He's very good with his words of affirmation, giving reassurance when I need it. And he's like my biggest fan. Like, he genuinely is like, you are gonna rule the fucking world and I'm gonna be right there cheering you on. So yeah. Don't worry about my black eyes. They'll go away in a second, okay? It looks kind of insane. I always do my foundation and then I do my bronzer. Like, I do my concealer after my bronzer and then I do my blush. So like, it's a weird way that I do it, but it works for me. So next I'm gonna go in with my bronzer. And the next question is, what is your love language? My love language is 1,010% physical touch. And that's just the way that I communicate. That's the way that I feel loved. That's the way that I feel seen, is through physical touch. It is the craziest thing because Casey is not that way. Like, I was asking him last night after our date, I was like, so you don't feel like, I don't know, if we haven't like held hands or like if I'm not like touching you or close to you, you don't feel that like distance or need to be close to me? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so I definitely need that physical touch aspect, which he understands that. And he's like, totally fine. Like, I you know, I'm like freaking crawling on him all the time. I literally just like sit on him and I'll stay there for forever. And he's like, you okay? But physical touch is like something that I need. And I honestly think it is growing up with like very, very close siblings, because we all pretty much snuggled in the same bed all the time. Like, we were always just very much like doing each other's hair, doing each other's makeup. Like, physical touch was such a big part of my life with my siblings, and that's how I feel loved. And so I feel like that's definitely transitioned into my relationships with Casey and stuff. So I feel like at this point you're starting to see this come together, because it gets a little crazy there for a second. Do you think it's a red flag if a married man compliments another girl? I mean, I guess to each their own, but if my man ever complimented another girl, like, I'm a little possessive, babe. I'm a little bit crazy. Like, yeah, that's a red flag for me. I would freak out. And I hate to say that I would, but like, I'm not perfect. I'm possessive and I'm a little bit crazy. Like, why are you complimenting another girl's hair? Why are you complimenting her nails? That's like not okay. It's unnecessary. If you like something, you can think it, but you don't have to tell her. I don't know, personal opinion, but hey, I'm not the one to ask. How should I handle conflict without making it worse? That's such a good question, and something I feel like I also need to work on, because my first instinct is like, well, let's figure this out right now. Let's talk about it, blah, blah, blah. Let's go all in. But like a lot of the times I need to just have a breath, take a minute, understand the situation, and then come back and talk about it calmly. I feel like that's my biggest advice. Like sometimes I literally just need to walk away, take a few breaths, and figure out what the actual issue is so that we can then talk about it. But communication is always key. Like just talk it out. Like that's my biggest thing. Talk it out, try and, you know, make your point in a way that doesn't bring the other person down, and instead make them understand that this is how you feel. And yeah, just communicate kindly. That's my biggest thing. So now with my concealer, I'm literally just like sharpening out this under eye shadow. So I start in the inner corner because I can go kind of all the way up with the concealer, and then I kind of just buff it out here and really just sharpen the bottom eyeshadow and such. And I'm gonna take the excess and just put it in other areas. And you can kind of make the bottom like as thick or as thin as you want by just adding more concealer. But I feel like that looks pretty good. Yeah. I got a lot of questions about friendships, and I'll answer them, but friendships can be very difficult for me. And I don't mean that in a way that's like, pick me. It's in a way of like, I've been hurt so many times, but I'll try and answer them as honestly as possible. Trying not to be biased. Okay, first question about friendships and boundaries is, when is it okay to step back from a friend? I think it's, first of all, always okay to step back from a friend. If you have any feelings about it, you don't owe anybody anything. You can step back from being somebody's friend at any point in time. But I would say, like, if you're actually confused or conflicted on like, is this something like that I need to, you know, separate from my life, or is this good for me? I think that that's a good telltale sign of like, okay, maybe it's not. And that goes into my point of, if a friendship feels confusing, like if you're like, are we, like, I don't know. I think my biggest thing is, how do you feel when you're with that person? Do you feel good? Do you feel confident leaving? Do you feel like you're overthinking, or you said something wrong, or maybe you didn't ask enough questions or anything like that? If you're feeling that way, like if you're feeling those negative feelings, I think that that's kind of a good sign that maybe it's not compatible. Maybe it's not a compatible friendship. I've recently had a friendship that definitely has left me very confused. And I think confusion can be painful, because it's like, well, why can't you just be honest? Why can't we just like figure out what's going on? So I've had to step back from that friendship for sure. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, no, it's nobody's to blame. Nobody needs to be held accountable. I don't have to overthink everything that I said. Like, did I do enough? Blah, blah, blah. It can just separate, and you can just take your space, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to go, you know, do the whole 9 to make it okay to step back from a friendship. What's your take on friendships, and what's your non-negotiable? I think friendships are very difficult, especially in your 20s. I've had my fair share of experiences with friendships, but I think my biggest non-negotiable is pretty much, are they asking you questions? Do they care about what's going on in your life? Or are they just talking about themselves and they only want somebody to hear out how their life is going? I feel like that's the biggest thing. And also showing up for someone. Like, if I'm showing up for you in your time of need, or in your time of like, it's your turn to have a celebration, or we're time to celebrate you, like, I'll show up for you. And then if that's not reciprocated and you don't show up when I need you, or when I'm just having a difficult time, or when it's my time to be celebrated and excited, and you don't show up there to be excited and celebrate me, like, that's just not a friendship. That's like a I hate to say, like a parasite. Like, they're taking what they need and you get nothing from it. You know what I mean? So my non-negotiable is, do they actually care about you? Are they showing up for you and being a good friend? And it's not that hard to be a good friend. Like, I don't think it is. You know, people, if somebody wants to be your friend, they'll show you that they want to be your friend. And if they don't, like, you'll be able to tell that they don't because they won't put any effort in. So, okay, so I just powdered on my eyes. I'm gonna use my bronzing powder and add that to my cheeks. This just gives me a little extra bronze because I am a bronzy girl. The next section is mom life, and I love talking about this. I could talk about this all freaking day. Okay, so first question when it comes to my mom life is, how did your life change when you had a son? And I would say the biggest change that happened in my life is I grew up. I grew up and I stopped caring about the unimportant bullshit, and I realized what actually mattered. And the fact that that happened so young really put me ahead, I feel like. And it made me very emotionally mature early on, and that I'll forever be grateful for. But also, I was 22 and I couldn't do anything because I had a newborn baby. So like, that was difficult. But I think in the end, obviously it was worth every second. How did my family react when you told them you were pregnant at such a young age? My family is very supportive and very loving. There is nothing that I could do unless I like killed somebody or did something insane. There's nothing that I could do that would, like, where they wouldn't be there and support me and back me. They will always do that. So I wasn't afraid to tell them, and they all pretty much responded with like, well, what do you need? Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It was like a team effort. What are we gonna do and how are we gonna, you know, figure this out? So I have the most supportive, amazing mom. Rome has the best TT ever. That's what we call my mom. And I couldn't be more grateful. It really doesn't, it's impossible, or it feels impossible without a village and without an amazing family. So forever grateful for them. Next question, what's the most difficult thing about being a mom and the best thing about being a mom? So I'll start with the most difficult, and that is that pretty much you are tested every single day. Your patience is on the line, girl, at all times, okay? It's very hard, but at the same time, like, it's worth it. I don't know how to make that make sense. Like, you get it when you have a baby, but you're pretty much every day going fucking crazy. And then they do something like Rome will look at me and be like, Mom, you're so beautiful. I love your makeup today, or I love your outfit today. And like, that makes it all worth it. The rest of the day, I'm like, it's fine, do whatever you want. And the best thing about being a mom is I mean, oh my gosh, I have the best kid in the entire world. Like, my son is literally the funniest kid. It's like seeing myself as a young girl growing up. It's like I get to see that from an outside perspective. Rome is growing up and he's just like me. He's so funny. He's hilarious. He's always making me laugh. He's always doing the craziest shit where I'm just like, oh my God. Like, there is never a dull moment. There is never a moment where I'm like, nah, this is boring. Like, no, it is everything. It is everything to me. He is everything to me. And oh my God, I could talk all fucking day about being a mom. I genuinely could. Okay, just adding mascara on the top lash line and then a little bit on the outer corner on the bottom. Some people asked about like my workout routine and my diet and such, and I love that question because I'm very passionate about it. So the first question is, what's my workout routine and diet? That's an easy one. I mean, diet is sporadic, but I'll do the workout routine first. So I work out almost every day. I've been traveling more, so that's been a little bit difficult, but I like to work out every day, Monday through Saturday. And I do a strength training gym. So it's pretty much like a weightlifting class. So I'm doing like dumbbell curls. I'm doing like barbell, Russian deadlifts, like things like that. So I'm like doing some serious strength training and weightlifting. And I feel like that's the best workout literally ever because you actually see a difference in your body and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So I do, 6 days a week. Monday we do quads, Tuesday we do chest and back, Wednesday we do conditioning, so it's full body and we're like getting our heartbeat pumping. Thursday we do glutes and hams, Friday we do arms and abs, Saturday we do another full body. And it's like an hour long and I fucking love it. It's my favorite. When it comes to my diet, right now I'm doing like a calorie deficit So I'm just trying to eat less. I'm trying to eat more whole foods, more meats. And yeah, I've got wedding prep coming up. I have my wedding in like 3 months, girls. Holy fucking shit. But yeah, so I'm definitely like being super mindful of my diet and trying to eat less so that I can lose a little bit of weight and look my very, very best for my wedding. What are some tips for the gym and becoming overall healthier? I would say my biggest advice would be getting there is the hardest part. Just get there, just get to the gym, and then from there it gets easier. So I don't know, I would say do your research on what you like, try different things and figure out what you like so that you'll actually stick to it and don't just do shit that you hate. Like if you're a Pilates girl but you're doing strength training, like you're gonna not like strength training, go back to Pilates and do Pilates. Like do what you love and do the routine that you love so that you stick to it, because like any way to get your body moving is great, I feel like. There is no right or wrong thing to do, I feel like. Okay, I'm gonna do my lip combo. This is the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the Iconic Nude. And girl, it is running out. It's running out. So I'm gonna add this. And I slightly overline my lips with this. Okay, my lipstick is downstairs. I usually use Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Fair Satin Lipstick, but it's downstairs. So I'm just gonna go in with this gloss. This is Charlotte Tilbury Plumpgasm. And I'm just gonna add that. It's gonna give me a little bit of a plump and make my lips look nice and cute. Okay, and voila. Let's see if there's one more question I can answer. How do you stay motivated? That's like the hardest thing for me to do ever. Oh my gosh, I would say put on some damn music, get out of bed, get off your couch, and just freaking try and pump yourself up. But I usually always put on a great playlist and that helps. I definitely need to fix up my hair, but before I do that, I'm gonna go in with my setting sprays. I use the One Size Powder Melt first, and then I go in with this one, which is a little bit more hold. Okay, I let that dry. This just like blends the powder out really well, which I love, so it doesn't look like super makeup-y, if that makes sense. Now that that's dried down a bit, I'm gonna go in with the One Size On Till Dawn. Okay, makeup's done. I'm gonna finish my hair and show you guys the finished look. And we're ready. Let's finish with 3 light questions to close out on. One is, what are some things you missed prior to social media? And that's nothing. I wouldn't change anything about my life. I love it so much. I have no complaints. Second question, what's your I could talk about this forever question? And that is absolutely being a mom and Rome, my son, and makeup. Last question, do you plan on staying in Nashville? And to that I say yes, my whole family's here. I want Rome to grow up in the same city with the same friends in the same school, and I can always travel, but I need a home base, and Nashville is perfect for that. So here is the final look. I feel like I was kind of bouncing around between questions and my tutorial, so I hope you got something out of this, but if you want me to do just solely a makeup tutorial, just telling you all my tips and tricks, I can definitely do that again soon. Next week I am off to Coachella, so that's gonna be an insane vlog. I cannot wait to come to bring you guys with me on that. That's gonna be so much freaking fun. But thank you guys for asking me questions. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. This YouTube channel has literally been so exciting for me. I don't know why. I just feel like I can just show you a little bit more, and I just have been dying to do that. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and yeah, come back next Sunday. Bye.